becomes visible. In other words, there's got to be documentation all over the place. There's got to be people. Maybe they're afraid to come forward and speak out. But you see, the reality exists, and all we have to do is find it. Now we've also, even if people are participants in the cover-up now out of fear, you know, most of them will be afraid of having themselves disappeared or their family harmed or whatever. The truth is still out there for us to find. Now all we've got to do is, but there's a grimmer thing. If for something like this to exist and be covered up, there's a big, there's a big darkness going on. And that goes into other things. For example, okay, what big money, basically it's big money, power brokers. How could this happen with power broker support? Now I've got rumors of $260-something billion in gold from the repository that was removed the same morning prior to hours. How could that happen under such a coincidence? Perfect timing. Okay, and then that morning, the Pentagon, the exact room, not the section of building or anything, but the exact room where $2.3 trillion in Pentagon, missing Pentagon funds was going to be audited. All of that was destroyed by something that caused an explosion in that room that morning in the Pentagon.
Do you have backup for that, what that room was, and that it was the room that was looking for that particular amount of money? Or are you just saying that?
Everything, well, that's basically, this is
I'm looking for backup.
Yeah, I know. In order to start presenting this publicly, we need to come forward with hard facts. I've been collecting, I've got, I don't know, maybe over 100 documentaries having to do with 9/11 alone.
Right. But I'm just asking you for help.
Oh,
if you have backup.
Cheney announced the missing.
It was Rumsfeld.
Yeah, Rumsfeld, and anyway, was it Sunday or was it Saturday?
The day before.
It was the day before, on Sunday. And then they announced that they were going to start an audit that Monday morning.
Said there's no trace of it. Don't know how it happened.
And stuff, yeah,
But
they were going to start doing an audit.
You said the room that was destroyed, we'll call it.
Had the audit data.
I need help with that. If you can give me some backup on that, and that'd be great. Let's let somebody else come.
Right.
Thank you. Great points.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say I think you're revolutionary only because I think everybody does that. It's so hard to speak.
You can pull the mic.
Okay. I'm a little tall.
You pull the wire with.
Technical difficulties, guys.
You got it?
Love the documentary, and I think the biggest question that can be answered here today is how do we battle cognitive dissonance? That's our biggest enemy here. Like trying to reach out to people and whatnot when we have such a controlled media. We have our every state politician, except Ron Paul or other people like that. They go by the official stories. They ignore the facts. They want to forget about it, and it almost becomes taboo talking about 9/11. The second I even bring up 9/11, they don't know my points or anybody's points. They already have a set mind frame that is almost untouchable. They're like that part of their reality does not want to be altered, changed. That's the official story. They mourn and they want to move on with their lives, not knowing that we live in a post 9/11 world. We live in a big brother world. Everything's monitored, everything's controlled. There is, basically, it's almost a form of enslavement, a mental enslavement that we have. And I want to reach out to a lot of friends, and I just want to speak the truth without being labeled crazy. I don't care if I'm labeled crazy, but I just want to know how I can reach them, even if we never become friends again, as long as they know that, hey, the official story does have to be known. And we can even show them the facts, show them all the scientific proof, visual evidence, eyewitness testimonies, and they still won't believe us because they don't want their reality to be broken. And I know you've done this for a while. And what's the best way you can reach people?
Yeah, who needs enemies when you have friends like that? And it's like the people we're trying to save, really, are fighting us more so than the other side, if you will. How many of you are here from We Are Change San Antonio? Or would you come up and answer this question, all of you at once? We'll give each one of you the microphone. We're going to answer the question, how are you reaching people? So come on up. Not just We Are Change, but what's the other organization? San Antonio? Matthew, what's your organization called?
We Are Change.
Okay. I thought there was another name.
The Truth Exposed Radio.
Truth Exposed. Oh, it's
Yeah,
a radio.
we do a lot of.
All right, I'll change the slide so you don't look like you're covered. So now, can you invite your friends up here so we can get?
Yeah, can we get Chris Smith up here? Can we get someone to record for him so he can get this video? No, you can get the first. Okay, so you get first person view. Matt Garcia is over there acting like he's not a part of us, but he needs to get his afro over here. And,
Hey, Chris, I'm recording. Come on now.
oh, you put it up? No, you should record. Oh, that light just.
I'm going to get a picture of you guys, so I want you to finish. Who's ever, is that you too? Part of this team?
Yes, so yeah, we are Change San Antonio up here. We've been doing activism in San Antonio for 4 years, and we first started going out in front of the Alamo, which is really symbolic and enriched in early American history and South American United States history. And we actually started getting in trouble with the local police here because we would have signs and DVDs, and park police would grab our cameras from us. It was almost like New York, but in this southern San Antonio, Texas. So. And also, we've actually gotten in a lot of trouble with your banner, with Architects and Engineers' official banner.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah, we had it on the floor in front of the Alamo and this open courtyard, and the park police started messing with us really bad and started trying to, really humiliate us and intimidate us, and we didn't back down. And the video turned into like over 40,000 views and over thousands of calls to the police department, and they had to recognize that. And it was just, and of course the court case got dismissed, of course, it was just a banner. He tried to get us on an advertisement. Of course we weren't advertising anything, but it was really just to stand for free speech and just, just showing how when you send such a powerful message that's backed by facts and information that's disprovable, the opposition really gets fearful, and they use intimidation tactics and forceful tactics and use the state as a force, as an incident with us in San Antonio Park Police. They came after us, and we're reporting on their microphones, on their walkie-talkies, that the message that we're bringing. He was literally reading the banner to the department and trying to get an answer based on that message. And on the video, I call him out for that. I'm like, it doesn't matter the message, but it just goes as a point to prove that you shouldn't back down from exercising your First Amendment, no matter what the topic. And a topic like this is very important, and videos like that are very important. The reason we brought it up is because it inspires more people to take action in their cities by watching these YouTube videos and seeing that people don't back down when the police try to intimidate them, and that they exercise their rights peacefully, and they don't need to say, I know my rights, they exercise them. And it's just exactly what it is, an exercise. We're continuously exercising our rights and making videos and showing others that it's an ongoing process. People want a one hit solution, a one-punch solution, a one-hit KO, and it doesn't come like that. It's a long battle, it takes plenty of jabs, and the thing is, it's not one person in the ring, it's all of us in the ring together. And that's why making the YouTube videos is important, because it springs up new players in this game. There's new picks all the time. There's new top rookies, and like for example, we got Chris Smith over here, so we are Change Texas Hill Country, who's got a whole group going over there. The YouTube videos have been on InfoWars, on Planet InfoWars. He's been acknowledged in the contest over there, doing a great job. And we should really get a comment from Chris Smith, who's done a lot of great work. What do you think of what people can do to get this information out and wake people up, and what you've seen and talking to people out there?
Well, it's just like you said, but just addressing, what he said, how to deal with people that don't want to accept the truth. And, and then coming back to what you've said is by showing them you're not alone, because this information, the truth is unsettling at first. And so when you're introducing it, my advice would be just to propose questions that make them have to go do a little bit of research for themselves, because it's just like music. Nobody wants you to turn them on to their new favorite band. They want to find it for themselves. So you just give them a couple, plant some seeds. Don't get too aggressive with people. Don't get upset, because the information is upsetting, and that's your initial gut instinct, is to go out and tell everybody, oh my God, we've been lied to, just like so many times before. But I'm just trying to think of how to address, which I'm sure you know, because you're out here doing the same thing that we're doing. This is Jedi from We Are Changed Laredo, and so they're out there making videos and doing the same thing, and so he knows what I'm saying is true, and I just I've got lost.
No, yeah, and so it goes back to the point of what can we do to get this information to the people, what can we do to get people to pay attention, take this serious, and progress to a real investigation of 9/11 and get this information to new people. And it really requires new techniques, new ideas, new ways to get this information across, different mediums and forms of media, and that's happened recently. There's comic books about 9/11 truth, there's YouTube videos, there's music videos, there's animations, and there's so much more, and there's different ways we can get this information across on an activist level, as well as not just handing out DVDs and handing out flyers, but we can also phone call major radio shows and get this information on there. We have the perfect person to speak on that. Here's on youtube.com/funkmaster5 for 3 or 4 years now. I've been calling in a major national radio show. We bring up real points and getting the classic, timeless responses from these national radio shows that a lot of our peers uphold to the standard of current events and perspectives on information. So, Rob of Funkmaster 5, tell us a little bit about what you do and your advice to people, what they can do to get this information out there.
Matt, before you do that, can you talk about the seminar Ron put on and that we helped with?
Yeah, we can talk about that too. I mean, the event was in Austin, Texas in 2010. And we had in Austin, Texas, 400 plus 500 people jam-packed auditorium at the Doubletree Hotel, where Ron spoke and a lot of other architects and engineers spoke, and Alex Jones spoke at. And then we was at the last weekend of South by Southwest, so we were seeing a lot of bands come down from the hotel room, and they're kind of like, what's going on here? They saw the signs pointing that way, and they came down that way, and there were the people with all the different haircuts and the vintage clothes and the other clothes. What is this? Coming up to the table, taking stuff. They're like, hey, yeah, Alex Jones here. Oh, for real, he was? And just like, it was just so random, in the middle of Austin weirdness, South by Southwest, we had this conference going on in this hotel, and really reached a lot of media platforms. We sent out the press release to a bunch of different contacts on the internet to also send out to their contacts. So like we had the loose change people send on their email list all their media contacts the press release for the event we had in Austin, Texas. So we knew a lot of people knew about it, and unfortunately no media showed up. So it just goes to show that, you know what I'm saying, you got the biggest idea, you have this idea, oh, we're going to really get the media's attention this time, we're going to do a bit, we're going to do this, we're going to get the media's attention, here we go, and then, so you shouldn't really set, all your apples in one basket, that's why we're trying to explore the different ways that people can take action to get the information out there.
Distributing the DVDs, I feel like I'm preaching to the choir, but you would be amazed at just being persistent in your beliefs, and then how reinforcing, it's kind of like going to church, speaking of choir, being around all these like-minded people. Now I feel like just today I missed an opportunity to speak up to a gentleman that, I just kind of watered down the truth, where I should have stood up and I should have said no. What did I have to lose? But I didn't want to come off as a crazy or a conspiracy. And look at me, I am rooted into this whole truth movement, and even myself wavered a little bit. But I'm not going to do that again. After being around this many people, we're on the same page. Obviously, not all of us can be crazy. So, not to mention there's millions, you know, and that's what this video really highlights, is these are very reputable people. I mean, I'm just an average Joe. Most of us are. But these people have the credentials that, I mean, it speaks for itself. So, I think that just like the difference, just upholding to the truth, just upholding to the truth.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean, is what it's all about. I mean, the little stone makes the ripple. So by affecting eventually your neighbor, your mother, your daughter, your aunt, you know, it's going to have an effect. And it's a shame that it's such a slow grind, because the truth is so awakening once you get it. But we are making progress, and I think that it's just a matter of time. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, it goes back to the different ways we get the truth out there. Back to Phone Master 5, phone bombing, national radio show. Well, you know, getting information out is, you know, we're finding a little element of surprise, because there will be people and communities that actually are more ready to take on the information and want to know more, that you'll be surprised. You'll come right out of left field. You know, somebody that you meet in everyday life, or somebody you work with might come up. It's happened to me a few times, and I have to, you know, try to be balanced about it. But somebody will say, hey, you know, I heard, you know, 911 was an inside job or something. I'll be like, oh man, what am I going to tell this guy? And,
How much time
you
do
know,
I have?
yeah, exactly. How much time do I have? You know, and like Ace Ventura, when he takes a big breath before anybody knows about Ace Ventura. Anyway, you know, if somebody calls you a 9/11 truther, call them a Bush believer. That's all I gotta say. I mean, how much harder is it to believe Bush than it is to believe an alternate, you know, theory or an alternate storyline to what actually did happen on 9/11? I mean, you have all the lies and all the dishonesty. So if you build on that dishonesty and say, well, there is a cover-up, then people begin to ask, why is there a cover-up? What is the information that hasn't come out? And I'm always surprised by people who are interested in that. And yeah, you get some people, you get a little bit of friction. Some people, they don't want to hear it. But you know what? The history is all like that. More often than not, people who have a hard time with this are people who are not very rooted in history. They don't know about the history of staged events. I was talking earlier about how the Mexican-American War was started essentially from a staged event. You know, they said that Mexican soldiers came over the border, killed Texas soldiers, and went back, and it was all a lie. But the war happened anyway, and then events that resulted from that, you know, just keeps on going. Then you have like Vietnam, you know, Gulf of Tonkin, and now it's come out that Tonkin, I don't know. Try to be correct in my pronunciation, but you get to like 40, 50 years later, and it comes out, and maybe there's not as big of a splash or an impact. So there is the urgency to continue to get out there in the street activism. I'll call radio shows and talk to hosts, sneak on their show and mention stuff about 9/11 and other very controversial subjects you don't hear about. But I really feel like there is an urgency, because after, 10 years from now, I mean, we're already 11 years since 9/11 happened and who's to say what's going to happen in the next 11 years if we don't really get people aware of this lever for going out and just invading country after country after country. I mean, you've had this tyranny go on. It's something that's been there for a while, but after 9/11, it's just doubled up and taken a sprint. And you have 5 or 6 active theaters of combat where our forces are involved. Whether you want to call that a war or not, they're a direct result or indirect result of the attacks of 9/11. So, it's like Richard Gage was talking about context. You got to put it into context for people and say, well, this happened. What happened after that? What happened before that? You had huge deregulation of markets before the collapse. You look before and after, and just modus operandus can be like a detective a little bit, and be like Batman.
So I think the question was, how do you reach them?
Well, the way I reach them, I know these guys pass CDs around, but everybody carries a device. Oh, my name's Matt Garcia. But everybody carries a device, And so you can always show them information like Larry Silverstein talking about how it was okay to bring the towers down. You can talk about David Rockefeller giving a speech about population control. So I'm not going to talk about
Ted Turner saying there should be only 2 billion people.
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of doing it joking. He was doing it jokingly, but it's still his mindset, you know? But, yeah, there you go.
Well, I mean, like Matt was saying before, I'll get on, Glenn Beck or Rush Limbaugh or Sean Hannity, and it's not that, part of it is to bring up the information, but the other part of it is to show people who listen to those shows that there is disinformation, there isn't honesty, because of the reaction. You'll get hung up on or you'll be disrespected immediately. So there's just so many different avenues. I really feel, honestly, despite what I do, I feel like on-the-street activism is the most important component. Passing out the DVDs, the flyers. Activism isn't supposed to be easy, and there's a lot of resistance for all kinds of different activists with all kinds of different causes. So yeah, you got to stick in there and hang in there, be tough. Don't stop talking about it. Don't let anybody shut you out, and challenge them. Say, hey, check out this research. You let them know how you came to the information yourself and what was most compelling to you, and then say, hey, why don't you check it out and do a little thoughts for yourself, because a free flow of information makes tyranny almost impossible, and that's what we got going on, free flow of information. That's one of the biggest things we have on our side,
A big hand for We Are Change San Antonio. And Ron has a final word for us tonight. Ron of the Tap House, Silver Eagle Tap House.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed our presentation. I don't know why you wouldn't. Richard Gage, an incredible guy, man. An incredible guy. Woo. Hey, I am proud to say that I was the 23rd architect that signed with Richard Gage. Yeah, and that was 2007. And now there's over 1,700 architects and engineers that signed it. All right, we be good friends here. All right, now we're gonna, that concludes the show tonight. And anybody that wants to join us, we're gonna caravan from here. We're gonna go over to 3009 and I-35, where there's a bunch of restaurants. And where we're going though, first of all, we gotta eat. I think we ought to eat at Chili's right there at 3009 and I-35. And then we're going to go to the Longhorn, and we're going to drink till 2 o'clock in the morning. So, I mean, we're talking about endurance. Let me tell you, the kind of things that we're up against, you can't be a little sissy poo-poo. Sit around drinking a little bit of water, get all the colloidal silver. Oh man, I mean, you got to put some serious booze in there, dude. That's what our forefathers did, man. I mean, they were bad. They threw tea in the water and they shot things, and they drank like hell. They drank 100 beers a day. All right, so I say let's dress up like a bunch of Indians. Let's go drink like hell, and let's do it for liberty, man. Amen.
Big hand for our host, Ron Avery of the Silver Eagle Tap House. Thanks everybody who helped us tonight too. You guys are awesome. We'll see you at the, wherever it is. What is it? The Longhorn.